we know that the Rothschild banking family had a hand in the formation of what is known today as the State of Israel. This banking family is the banking family that bankrolled both sides in the Napoleonic Wars. And then it profiteered from the Napoleonic Wars, from the time of Napoleon, from the late 1700s into the early 1800s. The same Rothschild family that supported prime ministers like Benjamin Disraeli, the only Jewish British prime minister this country has ever had, who declared Queen Victoria as the Empress of India, at that time annexing India, which is Hind really, Biladul Hind, to the British Empire. And at that time, this was post-mutiny, the mutiny of 1857, where tens and thousands of Muslims and Hindus were butchered in what is today known as India and Pakistan and Bangladesh. And then the region was annexed under a Jewish prime minister known as Benjamin Disraeli, of course supported by the Rothschild family. This same Rothschild family then purchases land in what is known as Palestine in the late 1800s, when Zionism is founded, and led initially by Theodore Herzl, who attempts to purchase Palestine from a Sultan Abdul Hamid II, the Caliph of the Ottoman Caliphate in that time. And then, of course, with the abolishment of the Caliphate in 1924, we have had secular nationalist states occupying the sprawling map of the former territories of the Caliphate, vying against one another. So recently, in recent events, what occurred is that America, the United States of America, has defense systems that are propped up in different regions of the world, like near North Korea, but also near Iran, the battery of which is valued at $1 billion. From 8 of those mechanisms, 4 have been taken out by Iran. And many of you observing this war, if you are not negligent, which a Muslim should not be negligent of the events that are occurring, because they relate to the end of times, Shiratu Sa'a. So with the unfolding events, many of you would have observed that the BBC, in its coverage, what does it have? If you go through the BBC website, or if you watch the channel, they will have reports like Tehran is being bombed by Israel. They will have reports that Israel has tanks within Lebanon, or has military buildup on the border of Lebanon, or Beirut is being bombed. But they will have very little coverage on Tel Aviv being blown to smithereens. Tel Aviv, as we speak, the so-called Iron Dome is down. And what the BBC likes to point out is the number of Iranians. But it doesn't point out the number of in the Zionist entity. Now, if it were up to Nigel Farage and the Conservative Party, the UK would go into war headfirst. So they criticized Keir Starmer for involving himself only to a limited capacity, even though, of course, Keir Starmer is desperate to get involved. He feels left out. But they criticized the policy of Keir Starmer of having a limited involvement. Of course, the UK bases are being utilized as we speak, not only in Cyprus, but also here in the mainland of the UK. But the party of Nigel Farage and the Conservatives, and what people need to realize is that democracy itself is rigged. It's a rigged system. It's rigged because the funders, those who fund the mainstream political parties, are the same people that support the wars abroad. Those who manufacture weapons, those who control finance and the banking, are the same people who control the political narrative. And the same with the media machine. Once we grasp this, once we grasp the fact that those political parties are, in fact, the policies are written out within a certain framework, they can oppose one another. This cult Donald Trump is a part of his cult, the Messianic rabbinical cult. The events that are occurring now will bring about the Messiah, the Jewish Messiah. So what he says, the Rebbe, to Netanyahu, is that many events have occurred, but the Mashiach is the Messiah, has not appeared yet. Now when they say Messiah, they do not mean Jesus. The Zionist Christians in the Christian Bible Belt in the United States, who believe supporting Israel is essential in order to bring about the Armageddon, what they do not realize is that the Jewish people, many of them, curse Jesus. Religious Jews, they curse Jesus, and they do not believe Jesus as being the Messiah. So what he says, is that the Messiah has not yet come, but there is some time left. And this was in the 1990s, around 30 years ago. So you can imagine the mindset of Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu is carrying out this war because he believes the Messiah will come. And remember one thing, and I would want to say this to all those people who are not understanding what is happening, was that they would want to eventually destroy Al-Masjid al-Aqsa to construct a temple. That is one of the final goals, to make Jerusalem into an international city where the UN is relocated into Jerusalem, and then from Jerusalem they construct a third temple. That is their plan. But inshallah, Allah will destroy their plans. And the message for today was, do not fall into the balkanization program of splitting Muslims, of dividing them into ethnic and based on your ethnicity, your language, your nation flags, based upon your sect. Do not allow it. We are at war with Zionism.
As we approach the final 10 nights of Ramadan, Merciful Servant has partnered with Droplets of Mercy to help provide clean water to Gaza, Sudan, and beyond. In crisis situations, access to water is often the first thing lost, and having access to clean water can be truly life-changing. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was asked what charity is best, he replied, giving water to drink. So help us provide clean and safe water to Muslims who are suffering around the world today.